At lunch today, I saw my old friend Josh I've known since my late teens. He and another friend Tommy hung around each other all the time back in the day. We don't see each other very often anymore, but every single time we discuss what happened to Tommy. Many years ago, Josh and I were at some house party in the abode of someone we didn't know. We looked up and Tommy was walking toward us with a very pretty blonde on his arm. He introduced us to Naomi and we offered her and Tommy a beer. Within a few minutes talking, I could tell Naomi was a few years older than us. That wasn't unusual since Tommy was a player and hooked up with women all the time. A few days later, when Tommy brought her to dinner with us, it raised eyebrows because he'd been seen with the same girl twice. After dinner, he let Josh know that she was married, but her husband had no idea and they really liked each other. I only saw Tommy one more time after that. I picked him up from work to take him to pick up his car that was being repaired. I was young and naive about what it felt like to be cheated on, so I didn't give him any grief. I just told him to be careful. He just laughed and told me he was always careful. He was about to find out he needed more than condoms for protection. 2 weeks later, Tommy was asleep with Naomi in the marital bed. Her husband unexpectedly came home for lunch and caught them in bed. The police report seemed to indicate her husband shot Tommy several times first and Naomi tried to run. Her husband shot her 4 times before she reached the bedroom door. Her husband then sat down on the bed and reloaded his gun. He called 911 to tell them what he'd done and was about to do. He hung up the phone and gave his cranium a new sunroof. Josh and I always remark that if Tommy was still alive he'd be our age, but his life ended at 21. But 2 other lives needlessly ended that day at 31 and 42. All because of cheating. I have no way to know if Tommy was the one and only guy Naomi cheated with, but I highly doubt it. Tommy may have been the first guy he caught her cheating with and snapped, or he could have just been the last straw that blew her back out. After reading a huge number of these cheating posts and the responses people give, I've noticed some parallels. We tell them that the person they were before being cheated on will never be the same again. We convey that reconciliation isn't really reviving the shattered relationship, it's deciding to start a whole new relationship with the person that cheated you. The old relationship died. But cheating changes you, forever. It forever changes how you look at the world, how you look at people. Ironically, outside of dealing with literal death, it's one of the hardest human experiences to endure. No, it isn't as severe a punishment as Tommy and Naomi received. But their pain, shame, regret, and anxiety came to an end. Those of us who have been cheated on have dealt with the consequences for years, even most of our lives. I peruse the Infidelity sub from time to time just to remember what a lack of integrity, loyalty, and morals looks like. As disgusting as their activity is, I wouldn't wish what happened to Tommy on any of them. But those people like playing with fire. The fact of the matter is, it doesn't matter if you view cheating as no big deal. But if her husband goes all William H. Macy to Nina Hartley in Boogie Nights on their asses, any sympathy will be hard to come by for me. Yesterday, I woke up to GF spam calling me. I went outside and sat and talked with my parents while she continued to call. I finally messaged her after she said she was going to come over that I needed some time alone. After talking with my parents for a while, I sat inside and read over the comments. In the crazy of everything, I had forgotten that I was somewhat smart and recorded the talks. I found where she had shown me messages with a guy I had previously asked her to block. When asked why she still had it, she told me that I only told her to block him on Snapchat. After watching the videos, I packed my things and left the house. I drove and parked at Walmart and called GF since I told her we would talk. I explained to her that with her jumping for the phone that it was a flag to me. She explained that she went and took it from me since I was not answering her. She has done this before with different items, and was not deleting things but looking to see what I was looking for since eBay had trouble with her phone before. I then told her that lying, trying to hide the number, and deleting it before I could look was damning evidence that she was hiding something. Again, like last time, she told me she was worried that rumors would start and that she would lose her job. I then told her that her job is notorious for rumors like this to get spread, and I doubted very highly that she would get fired, that if thus had happened in reverse I would not have given a second thought about my job. She then asked, "Doesn't that mean your mother is cheating on your father? My mother has worked at this job before. she told me she was trying to look out for our future together. I then told her that I was nothing but her safe boyfriend and that these guys were giving her attention that I apparently could not give to her. After this call, we ended the conversation and I began to drive home. While driving, my mother called. I told her that I wanted so badly to believe her. My mother told me that with everything that has happened and been said that it points to her cheating. That in my stomach and heart, I know already that she's either cheated or started to. She also told me to be gentle when leading her but to be upfront about my reasons. We then ended this call. I called GF back after I had pulled over and in a soft tone I told her that with everything that has been said and everything you've done I cannot trust you anymore and I'm done GF, I'm done. She then said, "Are you really breaking up with me over the phone?" To which I said yes. She then complained that why couldn't I have done this in person. I let her know again that I was done. I told her that I wished nothing but the best for her and that I hope the next man she gets with treats and provides her with everything that I could not. She then hung up on me. I called my mother back and told her what I had done. She explained to me that it was going to be very hard, but I should be feeling some relief now. Which in a way I was. Mother talked to me on the way home. I was nearly home when I broke down hard, not afraid to admit I cried hard. GF messaged me later that night asking if we could talk when she got home. I told her that we could. We talked about the same things, asking me why I couldn't believe her. We talked for a while about the same things, and she shortly got off to take a shower where we continued to text each other. While texting I learned that with the one guy she had gotten the picture from that she had previously sent him an I'm bored message but told me that it was because I was not answering her and when I did message her she dropped the conversation. I told her that I'd been through once where I'd seen they had snapped back and forth. She told me that it was just small talk about work and nothing sexual. First, she told me the conversation was about her trip, then her work, and then both. I also found out that she had attempted to get a guy over that her aunt has previously tried to set her up with, but told me that he had canceled to go to his friends. I told her that I could not believe she would do such a thing and that if I ever had done that to her, she would have left me the second she had found out. She then told me that her and her aunt had told him that she was in a relationship. They were just friends and she invited him to go to a zoo. I asked her how she had gotten the number for the guy she supposedly gave oral to. She told me that she had seen him and he had asked for her number. I asked, "So did he flirt with you before or after you had the number?" To which she told me after. I told her, "Then why did you not delete the number?" She told me that she just didn't and had honestly forgotten about it. I can't lie here. I went off on her saying that it's crazy how, from me not texting her back, she decided to text another man that she's bored. That's flirted with her. I said, "God forbid, ick, how many times I've been unable to text you back since I was in a situation where I could die. I don't want to say what I do for work." Nice to know, too, that you can just forget their numbers. What's even worse is that you're only telling me this now because I've started to call you out on what I've seen. I also find it funny that you would rather protect your reputation and job than provide me a way to ask for the truth. You deliberately hid his number for me to protect yourself and your job. There's other jobs we could have found for you and ones you would have liked too, and the only reason you told me the truth was because I told you I was going to bed, which made you either worried or scared. She then sent me this. I was texting picture guy about work, nothing to get his attention. Am aware you can die on this job. Why do you think I always call and text and always tell you I love you and to be safe? I forgot I had his number BC, I don't text him, no other reason. I have offered to get his number again so you could ask him, and you said no so. And not just for the job, for us a life, so we don't just bank off of your income. This job pays more than a pharmacy, so I took this job until I can move into the pharmacy. And the guy she said she blocked was texting me about his women problems, not trying to get in my pants. I blocked them. I have offered for you to go through my phone. I have done everything I can. I didn't tell you BC there wasn't anything to tell. I didn't flirt or do nothing with them. I then started to catch her changing stories about who texted who first and what I had written earlier about the topics changing. She had told me that she sent the first message to him and now it had changed to her starting the conversation. She then tried to convince me that with him asking WYD and her texting back that she had started the conversation. I told her that she was wrong. After telling her that it was crazy to answer a WYD text from a guy that has hit on her constantly, she told me that it wasn't that kind of WYD. That she had told him to quit flirting with her months ago at work. She stopped texting me back, and I went to sleep. This is what I have from yesterday, and there's been more today. She wanted badly to talk to me and said she was coming to talk. Extra edit. Today, I was talking to the friend who told me. She said she had messaged the other girl on the trip asking why she didn't tell me the truth, and this is what she had to say. GF is legitimately the only true friend I have. The only difference it would make with me saying something is I would be down a friend. I believe that, me, has all the information he needs to draw his own conclusions. I also believe that it wasn't our business to tell, so I'm going to stand by her on this one. All that's left is for her to suffer whatever consequences come from this. She came over and we talked. She ended up giving me her phone. I went through it and texted one of her friends, the other one that was on the trip. Long story short, she confirmed that GF had told them about giving oral. GF started telling me that she only told them that story to cause drama and to make the two friends bond over it since they don't get along. I also saw where GF was texting another friend talking about the message above. It also showed the one that messaged this saying that I don't think you, GF, should have done stuff while you and BF were together. It also showed that GF was told to make sure to delete her Apple Cloud. She again told me that it was to make them bond on the trip. So I have everything I need. She's lied over and over to me, and someone who commented was right. I was hoping she could convince me, but this is too much for me. Cheaters never stop.